Alright, what's going on, you freaky foresters? How's everyone doing? We've got a little bit to talk about here. I figured I would pop in game just to kind of debrief you on some of the forestry findings that have been happening these past couple of weeks, the past couple of months. If you know me, or if you've watched any of my content as of late, forestry was kind of the first thing I jumped back into, getting back into Runescape. There's been a lot of interesting things that Jagex has done to, well, I guess just kind of integrated into the game. Before we get started talking about the latest news post that happened yesterday, and before we dive into the mess that Jagex is making of this, I just want to show you my commitment to this skill, or I guess this update to the skill rather, as we chill next to Mr. Freaky Forester himself. I know it says Friendly Forester, but I know his true nature, dude. I know he's not so friendly. He's kind of freaky, and you know, you're not in a good way. You gotta make sure you stay your distance there. If we take a quick look at the collection log, and then I go to Forestry, you can see that I almost have a green log. The only two things I'm missing are the funky shaped log and the closed pouch blueprint, both of which are kind of not important to me right now, mainly because with the addition of Forestry Part 2, I want to make sure I have some leftover anima bark. I don't have the beaver pet, so I don't think it's important for me to buy this right now, since I don't even have the pet to transmorph it, transmog it, whatever you want to call it. And the closed pouch blueprint also just kind of seems pointless to me. Basically, you can AFK wood chop, wood cut in your like regular everyday skivvies, so both of those together, I believe, would be like 20-some thousand points. The log is 15,000. The closed patch, I believe, is 10,000. And if we check my forestry basket, forestry kit, I have exactly... okay, can you just open it, please? Can you... Jagex needs to fix this thing. No, I don't want to wear it! Are you joking me right now? I want you to open it. How do I open this stupid thing? Please, view it. Holy cow. Forestry kit. I have 25,000 anima infused bark. So I have plenty. I have plenty of bark. Look at all the leaves I have. I spent weeks just chopping logs, chopping trees for the heck of it. And I got to 92 wood cutting just by having a good old time with my bros. Not really, but, you know, I was there. I was chopping trees while I was working. And I got a lot to say about this skill and what Jagex has done to it. So let's jump in to the news post. I'm going to kind of refresh your memory on some of the things they promised for Forestry Part 2 and just the absolute devastation that has happened to this addition to Forestry. So let's take a quick look at that. So, okay, so like I said, before we jump into the news post that just released yesterday, today's actually the 26th, so I'm a little tiny bit late on this. We need to go back just a little bit here. So this was the first consultation they did on Forestry back in the beginning of August, where there was so much more they had promised, but just everything has been, well, basically erased. Look at the first sentence here, okay? Leaf effects in tea. So all those leaves you just saw in my backpack were meant to have like a really big, you know, place in this next part of Forestry. Long story short, we've completely removing the leaf effects alongside the ability to craft them into teas, adding them to campfires. So, screw you, buddy. But basically, they got rid of them all just because they're seeing that most people think, well, it's kind of freaking pointless because a lot of people don't really... A lot of this stuff just didn't seem to have a correct place, right? They already had spicy stews like they mentioned here. They already had things for like thieving, and the skills that they were going to like boost temporarily just didn't seem to have basically an overall important effect. Same thing then with campfires. So you can still have the ability to create these campfires supposedly, and they're gonna have like a bonfire resting effect where you can like chill, relax with your buddies in RP, I guess, which is cool. I like that idea. I'm not mad against that idea. But basically they were also gonna recharge your run energy, which I do think is a good idea because that's one of the things I miss from, I guess, RS3 or I guess RS present, whatever you call it now, the main game, where you can like sit and chill, like you can rest on the ground, you just sit your butt down on the rocky floor and your run energy regains. While it seems kind of cheesy, I like that idea of being able to do that. I like the ability to just like rest, even if you just sit on the ground. I think it's a good idea, but I see why they don't have it in the game now. But this was kind of going to be kind of close to that, but now you'll still be able to do that for some social chill time, but no longer T effects. It's just going to be purely for aesthetics, and I hate that. I hate when that is used like that, like, oh, it's so aesthetically pleasing. No, it's not, dude. You're just sitting on the ground, okay? You're just sitting on the campfire. Yeah, it looks cool, but it's not aesthetically pleasing. What are you, 24? I don't know why I pointed you out there if you are 24. Sorry. Here's the big thing, though, okay? Two-handed axes. This is kind of the main pull for this Forestry Part 2. So, you see right here, back at the beginning of August, they were already catching some flack for this. Lots of discussion surrounding the new and experimental way of bringing in a skilling item. So basically, if you're not for sure, if you're unaware, if you've never heard about the two-handed axes, basically, they were going to be a two-handed axe where you chop faster, or you chop like you don't gain as many logs per hour, but you're gaining more experience per hour. Now, the big drawback of this was that it would be costing you run energy per swing. And I know why you're thinking, why run energy? Because it's heavy, I guess. So here's where they're kind of breaking it down just a little bit further. You can make the two-hander by purchasing an axe handle from the forestry shop, combining it with the current axe. So it's irreversible, first of all, which I think is already kind of annoying. I don't know why that one's irreversible. I guess because you can't take it back off. I don't know. Maybe your character's too much of an idiot. But here we go. The two-handed axe will chop the same speed as your regular one, but you'll gain extra experience in exchange for getting fewer logs. So basically, it's allowing you to AFK for longer. Since that's kind of the main draw for woodcutting, you just kind of chill, chop the tree, and, do anything else besides sit there and watch it. So the benefits uses your run energy at the cost of 40 points per successful chop, and you'll receive 20% more experience for each successful hit of the tree. Why, though? Why run energy? You don't get... It's not worth it, dude. I put my thing down, flip it, and reversed it. It's not worth it. So here's how they kind of tried to counterbalance it. You would use these Forester's Rations. Now, what are those? I hear you asking. Alright, so as you see in our forestry kit here, you can create these things called Forester's Rations, which is made by preserving meat in leaves. Now, as of right now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the hell that means. Maybe you can't even make these just yet. You might be able to from the Freaky Forester shop. But basically, you have to create these little kits that will replenish your run energy when you're chopping the trees with the two-handed axe. Now, tell me, how much sense does that make right now? That's way more effort. That's way more things you have to do than just sit back and chop the tree. Not only do I have to maintain my run energy, but I also have to keep up making these rations with the Freaky Forester. Hold on, if we shop with him right here, can you make them? Forestry kit, ritual mulch, powdered pollen. I don't even know. Maybe you can't make them yet because Forestry Part 2 is not out, and you can't actually make the leaves. You can't do anything with the leaves that we have right now, which is also just hilarious. So you have to create these rations to replenish your run energy to continuously use the two-handed axe with its benefit. And you already know how fast your run energy drains, don't you? Don't lie to me, Walt. So going back to the news post, you will continue to chop between 4 and 5 until your inventory is full. 4 or 5 logs? Until you have no more rations, or you stop chopping to restore your run energy. While various other energy restores will work, you will have to highlight to reduce energy drain effect from stamina potions will not. Now, let's fast forward to yesterday. We're here to discuss the future of the two-handed axe, ready for Forestry Part 2. Okay? Thanks for taking part of our recent survey. Today we'd like to update you on some of the changes. The use of run energy as a mechanic was something that they were pretty excited about. Common Jagex L, thinking that what they thought was going to be exciting, everybody was going to love. Now, I'm not saying I'm against Jagex here. I am a pretty normie player. I'm pretty easily pleased. But did they really think that the community was going to go for something that made them have to work more and play this game more, click the game more? Come on, Jagex. You know better than that. Run energy is rarely used outside of running. Well, yeah, what else are we supposed to use it for? Chopping trees? When are you going to use it for anything else? Attacking monsters? Deplete your run energy? Rune crafting back and forth? I guess you run during that, but you know what I'm trying to say. You use energy for everything in the game, technically, right? Technically. So, where does it end, right? From your feedback that it fell out of place within woodcutting and slightly over-designed or convoluted. I can't believe it. I can't believe you've done this. Although we tried our best to clear up any confusion about the upkeep required for the two-handed axe on our live stream, I didn't know even that was a thing. We will still see your concerns about the mechanic, and they're going to remove it. Well, you can't say Jagex doesn't listen to its players. So they're going to remove the convoluted, their words, not mine, mechanic of using your run energy every chop of a two-handed axe? What about a two-handed weapon? What about a two-handed sword? You're telling me that I can hold this giant freaking pole in my hand? I'm talking about the dragon two-handed lance. I can stab a freaking monster with that 500 times, but that doesn't drain my run energy. But swinging this axe that requires both of my hands, that does, baby. So, there they go. So there goes the T effects. The campfire effects, you can still rest at them. You can still sit your little butt down. You can sit your bum down on the campfire and relax with your bros, but it doesn't do anything. No T effects, no crafting effects, no two-handed anything, really. I mean, you're going to have the axe, so they're going to change basically how it works now. So it will still require a trade-off for the additional XP that you're earning, and otherwise it'll make it more redundant if it was just like a two-handed axe that you could hold with two hands. What's the freaking point? Nobody knows. So instead you'll need to still stock up on these rations to gain the full effects of the two-handed axe. So basically, now it's just getting rid of the run energy factor, and you're just going to be eating a bunch of meat leaves, I guess, to replenish the use of it. I don't really know. Honestly, it's all a mess. They've gotten rid of pardon my pun, they've axed so much of Forestry Part 2. I don't even know what the hell's gonna be in here anymore. It's gonna just be literally like the axes and campfires. There's a couple of different random events that are gonna be part of it as well, but I mean, I don't know. So they're also counterbalancing this by raising the price from 6,000 to 10,000, but it's still irreversible, by the way. It's still irreversible. Once you combine it with the axe handle of your choice, if you take it off, you lose it, or you can't even take it off at all. No, they say you can sell it on the Grand Exchange, or it's tradable, but I'm a freaking Iron Man, so that doesn't do me any gosh dang good. So, in summary, if we go back one last time here and look at the last little thing they close with, the benefits using of a Forester's Ration per successful chop, you'll receive 20% more experience for each one, which is great. That's a pretty big boost. And 20% chance to not gain a log. So basically, you're going to be able to AFK for longer and earn more experience. So that's like a woodcutter's dream, but why does that benefit anybody that's already very high level? I mean, like, if you're 99 woodcutting, of course, this probably isn't going to apply to you. Rations are automatically consumed when chopping, which is cool, but you'll need to make them all still. Now, you are able to make quite a few depending on the types of leaves you have. If you look down here at the bottom, they're scaling the rations dependent on the type of fish you make, so I guess you can't make these just yet, and the leaf type. So like normal leaves, 2 rations, oak leaves, 4, and so on. Magic leaves are 12 rations per. So that's pretty significant if I'm being honest, because like I said, I have just been chopping magic leaves, and I think I have, if I go look one more time here, I have 1,700 magic leaves. So what's 1,700 times 12? If I just pull up my calculator here real quick, that's like gotta be a huge number. That is exactly 2,000. Whoops, I did 700. Whoopsie. Hold on, let me try one more time. That is exactly 20,000 rations. Now, when you break it down like that, that's 20,000 chops. Do you use 1 ration per chop? Or is it like 1 ration per energy depletion? I don't know how often you're going to have to use them, and that's just for the leaves. Down here, they combine it with fish, so depending on the type of fish you use, so level 1 to 33, so I guess like salmon, trout, shrimp, and then like sharks, monkfish, they times it by 3 more. So you're going to have plenty. If you have a lot of leaves already stored up, you'll probably never run out. So like it says down here at the very highest tier, you'd make about 972 rations per inventory, which is crazy. I mean, that is crazy. But there are crazy people out there that would chop all their dang life. I'm sorry, I wasn't on the news post here. So they kind of try to redeem it by making it to where you're not really going to have to worry about replenishing them. It's not going to be like, you have to constantly keep track of it if you've been participating in forestry thus far. If you've kind of just been not taking part of it because you're like, I want to wait till Forestry Part 2 comes out, which I was kind of doing because I thought we were going to have some dang content part of it, but Jagex has axed, again, pardon my pun, half of the damn content that was going to be in it. And I'm pardon my French, but I'm getting a little frustrated now because sometimes I just wish that they would keep the stuff in the game. There's a lot more that I could talk about here. Like, they also released some feedback on the Hunters Guild. If you haven't been keeping up with that, basically they at the Summerfest, they released, or they talked about, you know, their changes or the plans they had for like Valormore and how they're going to upgrade some of the things. And they talk about getting rid of like the crossbow, the Sunlight Hunter's crossbow, and the bolas, and they're just making all these changes, which is great. I'm glad that they're listening to us. I'm glad that they are keeping us in mind, and I want to talk about some of the Hunters Guild stuff, but I'll probably save it for another video, because I've rambled on for very long here. I just wanted to show you that I'm passionate about forestry. Okay, I've got the whole dang everything, basically. I got plenty of extra stuff to buy things with. But now what am I going to do with it all? Because there's like no point, right? There's no point. They got rid of all the Forestry Part 2. And then like the beta's going to be even better. I'm like, no, it's not. First, the UI beta failed for the mobile release. That's postponed. The first Forestry beta, you cucked us all on that one. And now you're like, oh, but Forestry Part 2, that one's going to be it, dude. That's going to be the one. I don't believe you, Jagex. I don't believe you. But hopefully there's something for Forestry Part 2. It's supposed to come out sometime near the end of the month, I thought. And here we are. It's almost October. So I'm getting a little suspicious. I'm doing like the dog meme where it's like, you know, he's got like his eyes really raised up. He looks highly suspicious. That's me looking very highly suspicious at Jagex. So what do you guys and girls think about Forestry? Did you hate the first part? Most people did. I'm hearing that most people hated it. But what did you think? I want to know what you think specifically. I didn't mind it. I like woodcutting, I like AFKing, I like skilling. I'm a safe, hardcore Iron Man. But I enjoyed it. It was fun. I could do it while I was working. I was good at it, Walt. Sorry, I just watched Breaking Bad. Can you tell? So, I don't know. What do you guys and girls think? I'm going to end this video here before I ramble on for too much longer. Expect more of these types of videos if you enjoy them, if you like my rambling and complaining. I don't think Jagex is doing anything terribly wrong. I just wish that they would have some content released with these expansions and not cut literally everything. I mean, maybe most of it's garbage. Maybe most of it's gross. But when I was coming down hard on sailing, I got pretty hardly, I got a talking to. People were like, you don't know what you're talking about, you bald mother. So here I am giving Jagex a chance. And they dismember my boy like this. They take him apart at the seams. Forestry Part 2's got what? Campfires. You can sit at them. Cool. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens, I guess. But I'm going to go now. Thanks for listening. Guys and girls, I got to go work out. That's why I'm so amped up right now, because I got the pre-workout running through my veins. I'm sipping on the pre like a little... I'm not going to finish that sentence. All right, I'm going to go. And as they say, bye.